So, this is a big. We got to play a couple of games this past week.
Right. We played a little Suro for the first time, but not much to really say there. It was fun and silly. Multiple times we thought about how we could kill ourselves.
Yeah, you've probably played it. If you haven't, it was a fun, light game that anybody could play. But the meat of what we're going to talk about is one that...
And I know this is one you've been dying to get your hands on.
Yeah, well, and for a while now,
And of course me too, because I actually
got
it.
Well, it's been around for maybe a few weeks, if not a month.
Not too...
ish.
Yeah.
It's pretty new. But it's got a lot of buzz and very interesting. And we talked about it, I think, when it was on Kickstarter. Because it was a Kickstarter.
Oh, I definitely talked about it.
And that game is Millennium Blades from Level 99.
If you don't know, the idea behind Millennium Blades, it's a CCG simulator. So take games like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic, Pokemon, and takes not just the actual playing the game, but sort of the collecting aspect, the singles market. Like opening packs.
Right. The whole everything. It's that. It's a simulator of that.
Right.
I don't know if you want to...
And, well, we played we're going to say, we did play with the pre-tournament. It's like the starter version.
Right, that's true.
So we played with one less phase than they suggested, which I do think is a really smart move on their part in terms of helping you learn how the game...
And I didn't feel like sometimes with those tutorial modes, you feel like you're playing half a game. I didn't feel like that. It felt like a full game still.
Well, the thing is that I'm very excited because we played the game, and after reaching the end of round, it was guess is the third round, but if you're playing the real game, it'd be the second round. Mm-hmm. I did end up with the higher score, but it was close, and I was looking at the way people were scoring. I don't think I was guaranteed that. Like even when I was doing the adding, I didn't think I was guaranteed.
No, yeah, it was.
It really felt like it ended up being like 70. 65, 62, I think, and 58. And that's really close, considering.
Yeah, it was very close, especially, and it was all our first games. Well, you had played like a round of it.
Yeah.
But for most
not
of us,
really, not really. Like, not enough to, I didn't score points. I just sort of, and I will tell you this, that round I did, like doing the buying phase, I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right, that was me for the first round of this game. I was like,
but it was,
everything was wrong.
I'm hoping you felt this, but I know I did after that and this. I felt like, I want more now. What I'm also really excited about is because there's so many different sets. Like I showed you afterwards, there's one based on Firefly, which I knew.
Right.
Like, you gotta play with.
And wasn't there were some other? Well,
no, I showed you there's a Mario one. There's a Legend of Zelda one. Like there's so many of these things, and I know the site you're on actually has a lot of people as backers in the backers.
Right.
So I told you got to find out who those are so we can use them.
Well, so I wanted to talk about the game, the game itself, and how it plays. It is. I have to say, it's one of the weirdest games I think that exists. Like, just in how much stuff there is, it's a CCG deck builder, like real-time negotiation. There's an economy there. There's money. Like it has so many different things built into it. And I would be fascinated to learn the process of designing this game because I really feel like it's on such a. It's like walking 4 different tightropes of if you go too far,
but here's the thing. Do you think they actually made it across that tightrope?
Well, that's what I do think that in the end it's successful and. Like almost impossibly so.
No, right. There's one major problem we'll have, but we'll get to that at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, like it's crazy how all those things come together, and I never in a million years would think. And even though it sounds, it's a lot of those different components together. I also found it very interesting. Basically, there's 2 phases. There's the buying phase where it's like
the buying
simulates
and building phase,
buying your decks and building them. Yeah,
and the tournament phase, which is where you sort of see who's the best.
You're actually playing. And that I thought the playing part was actually very interesting because I thought it would be much more of a direct analog to a CCG. It really was more abstract than that. Mm-hmm. The way having your cards, you line them up, and there you get flipping is a thing, and the numbers they have matter when you clash with people. And that's all totally a lot of stuff. I can't really call it, set collection or worker placement or something. Like I feel like those are fairly like unique mechanics.
Right, and I think another interesting thing, and this is something I really love about this game because otherwise I think without it, it would have failed miserably at our table. The buying phase is timed. No turn order. You go in live, and you have a total of 20 minutes. It's 2 7-minutes and a 6-minute.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, while terrifying, in the end, I love it because that means we're not going, hold on, do I want to buy? You're forced to make all your decisions. So in the end, in the tournament phase, which it is turn-based, you have only 8 cards to choose from. It makes I think the time management. I actually think we got close to that 2-hour mark. Like, we took a break in between to see a movie, so.
Right.
But I mean, overall, I think that's actually a reasonable estimate.
Well,
considering.
I found it really interesting because I was terrified, but what I found was maybe once, but almost never did I really want more time. I was almost always like, I'm okay, and there's a minute left.
No, then that's the beauty of it. I never felt like it was either. I mean, you feel worried because you're timed.
Right.
But you never felt like, because I mean, how many games have we played when we're like, one more move?
Right. And the fact that there's 3 rounds, like, you can take that final round to be like, okay, now I'm just going to focus on finalizing.
And that's the nice thing. Because of those round inputs, you sort of get, even if you don't see the timer, you sort of can get the feel
fair
like,
warning.
You're like, okay, this is my deck building time. I've done as much as I can, just get my deck in there.
Yeah. One thing we didn't do a ton of, at least I didn't, was trading.
Right, we did only one trade each.
I read up a little bit on what people are saying about the game, and it sounds like once you're more familiar with the cards, you'll be more likely to trade.
Well, I think another reason is, I know for me with trading is, and also we're familiar with the cards, it's going to be like, I didn't know what people wanted outside the original starter decks, which I know you and I went straight off the reservation. Neither of us resembled our starter decks in the end. Actually, it was funny. Neil and Greg, who we played with, actually stuck with their decks. Neil stuck really well with his. And to be honest, I think if one card I got, if Neil got, he would have crushed us.
Right.
And then Greg was pretty good because he was just copying all his cards and just.
No, yeah, it feels really good when you manage to set up a great combo. I mean, we talked about this. Also, it's also kind of a drafting game.
Right.
It's like everything.
And you know what?
It's crazy.
Really, and I think one of the coolest moves, which I'm really excited, and I think there are more cards that let you do this, was your move. Because earlier you played, I think it was Clawzor was the guy's name, who lets you look at the top 2 cards in the store.
Right.
But then you're like, I want to clash, but I don't know what to lose. But then you realize you've seen the top 2 cards in stores. You knew you were guaranteed to win with the clash.
The way that clashing works, you have the higher number based on the card you draw. So since I knew exactly what was coming up, I was guaranteed to win.
And you're like, if I didn't do it, someone else. So I thought that was actually really cool.
No, there's a lot, and I'm sure, that's something that's not.
And this is not
intentional.
And this is something that we didn't include. We didn't use the player abilities. Which alone would have brought a lot more.
Oh yeah, there's some good ones in there. I was like, mine was amazing. I wish I had my player ability. So.
And then we also didn't play with the arenas, which you can fight on riding ostriches or in space.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot in the box. Speaking of the box.
Right. Let's get to this.
You don't know, that is actually just the cover up there, because the box itself is jam packed, but the insert does not hold cards.
For me, it was very disappointing. The insert, it doesn't exist.
Right.
It's not insert. And the store deck, which you were talking about, you have everything sleeved.
I have everything sleeved because, this is something that's going to get shuffled a lot.
And the deck is like that big. So
I actually have to use the box I bought, the Ultra Pro box for the sleeves. I use that to hold the store.
Because if it was upright, it would fall over.
No, it does. I've already tried.
Which is crazy in its own right. And then there's so many cards and so many different sets of cards within the cards that you may or may not use depending on how you're playing, variations. Just some kind of simple insert would have been glorious. And if you go on Board Game Geek, the forum for this, I would say roughly 50% of the posts are about people posting about their storage solutions.
Yeah,
that's half the discussion of this game.
No, and
I think that indicates a problem.
And considering this is level 99, this is not their first time to the board game show.
Well, here's my thinking is that they were like, well, we know this is a game that it's for hardcore players. We're marketing it to hardcore players. If they're going to buy it, they're probably going to make their own thing.
Or they know about broken token stuff, which I understand because I think it's not broken token.
There's at least one.
There's one, and I remember because it wasn't broken token. That's
I think I saw the same one.
And that's the people I usually know. But to me, it's sort of like just say the idea of thinking in general, being like, well, we're making a console, but we know Mad Cat makes controllers, so we're not going to make controllers.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's really. Like, I really think they should feel bad. love the
honestly,
game, but that
and,
box is
and
a
here's the other
disappointment.
thing, too, about me.
Yeah.
The box itself, though, is really nice. I like the way it looks.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. If it was a shitty-looking box, I would have had no problem ditching it for, like...
Right.
Like, what... I don't know if we've ever shown it, but your DC, I don't know, my DC and your Legendary, I actually took those big, like,
white
cardboard
boxes.
box, drew really awesome images on the covers, and used dividers. Part of me wants to do that for this, especially for, like, being able to pick up the green ones or the blue one.
Yeah.
But then it's like, that looks so nice.
Yeah, maybe because I'm sure there's gonna be
No, like if
expansions
there was
for
something
this.
like the Smash Up box,
Maybe they'll do that.
that's what we need. Like, it actually has dividers for all the...
But for now, it's like if you're buying this game, you pretty much have to figure something out.
Yes,
like
that's the
there's
big...
no way around it.
If you buy this game, you're not just buying this game. You have to be prepared to enter this sorting.
It's a thing.
But once you do that, and
Once you
find
do that-
whatever method you find, like some people have these awesome Velcros. I sort of just go back and forth, and mine is not. I would not suggest mine. Mine's like because I don't have anything else. But once you do that, the game itself, and once you get past shuffling the store deck, like I said, it's this big.
Yeah, how do you even shuffle that thing?
That's why I came it pre-shuffled when we came. But once you do that, the game itself is amazing. And another thing we forgot to mention is that each set, it's like supposed to be like a Sen Magic or something like we talked about. Like we mentioned, there's a Firefly Legend of Zelda's Link, has a little theme, and the book actually will tell you in the back what that is. So if you do really want to be like, oh look, this one does more flipping or more this, you can customize it that way. So mechanically, art style, the game itself, definitely amazing, but packaging falls very flat and is really our only disappointment from this.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, there's a ton of stuff in there, and I could see some people saying that it's too much, but I think that they did a good job.
I think in terms of
some people could.
Yeah,
though.
no, I know. I'm just saying I
Yeah.
just realized something we should have said. I think it's a fair argument, but
Yeah.
I do think for what it does and time-wise, I think it is within a very fair 2 hours.
No,
for
yeah.
A game is not bad.
But I think there will be those people who like a concise, like, I like to think of this mechanic, like I want a worker placement game or I want a deck building game and I'm going to play it. This is like, you got to kind of be a jack of all trades. You kind of have to...
I mean, I
Put your hand
understand,
in a
but at
lot
the
of
same
pots.
time, you're walking into a CCG simulator.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I'm just saying.
You should know what you're getting into.
Either
But
you're into that or
enough
you're
said.
not. It's cup of tea or not.